Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. Good as well. So,
How was your
what's
day?
going on? No, pretty good. It's been pretty good. Just, you know, IPL is going on, so I was just checking on the scores, who's winning and who's making the most runs. So I was just getting updated with that. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I just had dinner a while back. Now preparing for sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, finishing off some work and then preparing some sleep.
Okay.
Uh, so
How's the heat?
heat is there. Like you need to stay in a fan. Actually, it's uh, much comfortable if you're in an AC.
Uh-huh.
Fan is tolerable, but still it is very hot.
All right. Right. I understand. Okay. So, today, what are we discussing?
Mashallah, you're Hafiz. I wanted to ask about your experience when you started and what was the process you used.
Absolutely. So yeah, but I spent, I think, 3.5 to 4 years, um, to complete memorizing the Quran. So, which is called Hafiz. Once you finish it, you are given the title of Hafiz. So, yes, my parents, especially, wanted me to, do Hifz, because it is something that is in Islam. It has a very high position, and
Absolutely.
and also, like, once your child does Hifz or memorizes the Quran, then on the day of judgment, the parents will be given, like, two, both the mother and the father will be presented with crowns. I guess you might have heard of it, right? You might have heard of that.
Yes, yes.
So that is something which is very significant, and which encourages people to try and uh, you know try themselves to become hafiz, or their children to make them memorize the Quran. So my
Absolutely.
parents put me in Hifz, in after I completed second grade. I remember I was in Rahima Academy back then, and so after before I completed the second grade, I was being, encouraged, and I was being told I was being taken, because at that time we used to stay in Ras Tanura.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So we used to stay, because my dad's work was in Ras Tanura itself. So we used to stay there in that small town. But when my parents planned that I have to be put in Hifz, so because there was no madrasa or school, Arabic school in Ras Tanura at that time, so the only option was to come to Al Khobar, uh, you know, because there was the Arabic schools, and because it was a big city, obviously much
Yes.
larger than Ras Tanura. So we made a lot of trips. I remember accompanying my dad to Al Khobar several times, going to the school as well, meeting the teachers and getting my admission done and stuff. Apart from that, uh, for making the move, looking at different homes and stuff. So because it's a 1 hour ride from Ras Tanura to Al Khobar, it was a pretty good journey, because when you are young, 7, 8, you want to spend most of the time with your parents and go along where you want to explore things. Yeah, so that was really fun time, because we always had fast food, which I loved at that time. So yeah, so basically, I joined when I was 7 years old, and I finished my hifz around when I was about 11 years, I remember. I think it was 10 and a half, I guess. So I joined back to school in sixth grade. Um, so those 3.5 years, it was a typical uh, uh, madrasa, which you can find in Hyderabad or any other school. But obviously, uh, the the strictness was not that much because it was in Saudi Arabia. It was in a different country, but it was strict. It was not like it was not like how it is in Canada or the US or stuff like that. It is not like that because in Saudi Arabia as well, teachers in not in schools but in madrasa, it is something. Uh, it is something that you have to be strict, or you have to get a beating here or there to get yourself back on track. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so that was madrasas are known for that. You might have heard. So
Yes, yes.
it is not something that you are being done on purposely or to hurt you or something. It's just to encourage you to get back on track. But I understand it is not the right way, because it doesn't, because when a person is just young, so it doesn't they don't understand what's going on, right? So it's not the right way to do it. But still, that is what is followed back in India or back in Saudi as well, so we can't help it. So the a few learnings what I had from that was, it's very easy to learn something. It's very easy to memorize or learn something. We can learn it, and especially when you are young, you can learn it very easily because you don't have many things going on in your mind, and that's the time a Hifz needs to be done. Because right now, like you and me, what age we are, if we start doing Hifz, we can do Hifz now as well, any person of this age. But you may have a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on in your mind that will not give you enough time or enough space in your mind to do it as quickly as you can do when you're young, right?
Yes,
So that is one point. And the second point is, it is, as I mentioned, it is easy to learn, but the tough part is to retain it. You know, so
yeah,
once you're done, you're back to your routine life, your school, your college, and stuff like that. Then you have to be in touch with it. You have to be reading at least one part of the Quran every day, so that it
yes,
stays with you. Or else, like any other thing, what we memorize, like for exams, we learn a lot. Uh, but after the exam, if we leave it, you will
you
forget it.
forget.
That thing will leave you. So, and Quran is something that is, you can forget very easily. It will go, if you don't read it again and again, then it will leave you very easily. So you have to take care of it. That's another thing. Because right now, when I teach here part time in a small madrasa. Not a madrasa, it is called a maktab here. So in the evening, 2 hours. So here a lot of children, they come and they learn how Nazara, how to read the Quran, the basics like the alphabets of Arabic, and the duas, and everything related to Islam, I would say, just to get the foundations for the kids. So there, I got to understand that, repeating something is very important, to keep that in mind. Because when you teach children, you understand how they grasp things, and how they are able to learn things. And this also, enlightens you how God has made the human mind. Like it is
Yes,
at a younger age, it is very easy to learn things if you put your attention in the right direction. So the only thing is, because many kids, they learn a lot, they learn very easily, they learn everything very easily. But if they don't use it, if they don't utilize it, then it leaves as well pretty quickly. So I, as a Hafiz myself, I just tell them, you're putting so much effort to come here to learn 2 hours of your time. Your parents are putting so much effort to get you here. Yeah. So it because out here everybody is busy. You know that. Like it's not like in India or in Saudi. Here, like every
Mm.
hour, every second, like everybody is like busy at their own things. So taking time out for stuff, especially for your children and stuff, it takes a lot of effort, but people put that effort because they want their kids to do well, and they want them to learn about Islam, and they want them to be in touch with Islam, because it's
Mm.
uh, in such an environment, it is very difficult if you don't give the basic things, if you don't tell or make them learn about the basic things of Islam early, then it will be very difficult when they grow. So
That's
I
correct.
am, people do a lot of put a lot of efforts, and that's very good here. And
Mm.
uh, yes, so it's basically that. So I spent about 4 years in my madrasa back in Saudi Arabia, and I had a teacher. He was also from Hyderabad, and yeah, so we used to get along pretty well. But
Okay.
but then obviously, you know. Beatings were there in spite of
Yeah.
you being from the same city, because if you do anything wrong, or not wrong, if you don't learn your sabak on time, or if you don't do that, so that was commonplace at that time.
So, I just wanted to clear something. Your madrasa was in that Pakistani area. So, was it a Pakistani madrasa or was it Indian just in that area?
No, it actually the you're right. The Pakistani school was there in that area. It was as you remember in Khobar, that area was known as the Pakistani community. All the
Yes.
Pakistani restaurants and supermarkets and stuff like that. Everything was related to especially Pakistani stuff. Because in Khobar there were areas like Bengali area, Hyderabadi area, and
Yeah.
this was the special Pakistani area. So
Mhm.
they started this Pakistani school. They took up a big house right beside the Pakistani school, and they changed it into a madrasa, and they
Okay.
affiliated that with the government of Saudi Arabia's Hifz, Quran Hifz section.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was affiliated, and it was run by the final exams and stuff were taken by sheikhs coming, or Saudi sheikhs coming from the government. So that was
Nice.
there.
Nice.
And this wasn't something like anybody was, it wasn't something like just teachers getting it done. It was affiliated. It was a affiliated madrasa by the government of Saudi Arabia. So that was really good. And I remember the exams, they used to be exams periodically. Like if you have
Mm.
completed one part of the Quran, so your exam would be from one part. The sheikh used to come, he
Mhm.
used to ask questions randomly, like from this continue reading from this line, or continue reading from that line, and that was there. Or if you have completed 15 parts of the Quran, so they would ask from 15 parts randomly. But the good thing was, the interesting thing, and what inspired or influenced the kids was, after you pass the exams, you were the gift. We were given a hadiyah, which is a gift, and that
Ah,
gift
yes.
used to be cash, money.
Yeah.
So that was really good. Like if you gave an exam for one part, you used to get something about 50 riyals or something, I remember. So if you gave not 50, I think at that time, I think it was 10 riyals or 15 riyals. So if you gave about 15 parts, then you would get about 150, 200 riyals. So at that point, kids getting that kind of money, 200 riyals or something, we used to love it, because it was like pocket money.
Yes.
You could do anything what you want. You could, buy stuff. So that was very something which we looked forward to, and
Mhm.
we always wanted to do well, so that we could earn that. So yeah, basically, that was the thing, and it was a pretty good experience. But uh, as I mentioned, in the busy life now, how it is, the tough part is to work on it every day and to retain it. So,
Yes.
parents sometimes they get emotional. And in emotional those you know emotional moments, they just go ahead and put their children in Hifz, but they need to prepare themselves first. That
Yes.
this
Yes.
is a very important step, and we need to be prepared for supporting the child in this, because once the child is a Hafiz, then you have to support him to, or support or push him to keep learning and not to forget, because it's not just any
Right.
other book like that you learn and then you just leave it. So that is very
Absolutely.
important. So it's not a emotional step that you take by listening to by listening to the hadith, or obviously you listen to the hadith, but you also make up your mind that you are ready for this
Yes.
as a
Yes.
parent,
True.
that you take that seriously. Yeah, so
True.
this is my 2 cents about that.
Like you mentioned, distractions. So one of my bhanjas, actually, like nephews. So he started his, but like you mentioned, distractions in the city after, like in the middle of school, not at a younger age. I think he was in eighth when he started. So friend circle, everything was there. So he
Mhm.
wasn't able to concentrate on his.
Okay.
So the parents, what like you mentioned, that's absolutely something. It may be a little difficult. So the parents, they put him in a hostel. They're like, no, because you are not able to concentrate here. So you finish your hifs, be in a hostel. So it's kind of like a punishment, because I think because he was, roaming around, not paying attention. But also it is to get away, because if you're not able to, get yourself together in this distraction, which is difficult, definitely, then obviously it's better to, take some time off and concentrate on it. And then after that, like you said, you need to keep revising and everything.
Right, I understand, and that's the reason. The best time to do Hifz is, if you have made, if as a parent, if as parents you have made up your mind that you
Mm.
want to make your child a Hafiz, then the best time is at the young age.
Younger,
At
yeah, younger the
6 or 7 years, you have to start preparing from 4 years itself. That you finish the Qaida early, then you finish the Nazira early, so that the child, he or she is ready to read the Quran, knows how to read it properly, and then you can put him or her into Hifz directly at
yeah.
6 or 7 years, because that is the best time. No
Mm.
distractions, nothing at that time.
True.
So at that time they can focus directly only on one thing, and they'll be able to complete it quickly, like in 2.5, 3.5 years, and then they can go
Yes.
full time into the school. I also recommend that
Yes.
uh, doing Hifz along with your school studies. It can be done.
It's difficult.
It can be done. A lot of students have done it. You have to be very sharp and you have to be very dedicated to both of the things
Yes.
to get
Yes.
both done together. But in my recommendation, or in my opinion, I would say, spend 2 years, 2.5 years, and get it done if you want to do it completely. And then you go back to
Right.
school, because if you're concentrating on both the things, it will take much longer, and you won't be able to focus on both the things equally. And uh, the performance in one or the other will be fluctuating. So it's better if you
One.
have decided to do it, then you do full time and then get back to your schooling and stuff. So that is
Correct.
what I suggest. And as you mentioned about hostel and stuff, I really don't support that, going to hostel, because one of my cousins as well, their parents, they wanted to put her into a hostel. She went into the hostel as well, but it just never worked out. It just never worked out. And they were, they had to get her out, and she never finished her fifth. So it's
Okay.
not like that it is suitable for everybody. But
No, no, of
and,
course.
even if anybody can do it, that's there, anybody can do it if they have the determination. But putting in a
Yes.
hostel to get it done, like a punishment, it doesn't work out on kids. They won't do it.
No, no. Of
Right.
course, then that's why I mean, like I'm not sure about your cousin's age, but like because my nephew was elder, and because he had done schooling here in Hyderabad. Actually, they were also in Saudi. They came back a while back.
Hmm.
So Hyderabad में यहाँ के schools में once you're there, the environment is different, the friendships and everything,
Yeah.
मस्ती ये सब रहती एंड एवरी डे बाहर जाना करना कराना तो वैसा एनवायरनमेंट थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो रहा था सो लाइक अदर देन पनिशमेंट मोस्टली क्या भाई यू डू दिस इट विल बी गुड फॉर यू इन द फ्यूचर
They're
कुछ ऐसा
isolated from others.
ऐसे हाँ but that obviously that madrasa as well they are also it's a good
Yeah,
madrasa
there are a
and
lot of,
recently
as you mentioned, there are a lot of good friends you make at the madrasa as well. You know,
yes yes
so that is it is not a place just you are just going, or it is not something like that.
no no
You
that's
make a
true
lot of friends there as well. You play a lot. Like here, especially when I teach here, uh, all the students, there is a Hifz section in our maktab as well. So there is,
mm-hmm.
I think, about 15 students are doing Hifz over here as well. And they stay from
Mm-hmm.
morning 8 a.m. till evening 7 p.m. every day. That they are doing full
Okay
time Hifz. Like, as I mentioned, if
okay.
you're planning to do Hifz, then you do full time, finish it in two
Yes
and a half years or 3 years, and then get back to your routine or whatever you want to do. So that is what, and they play, so from morning to evening they are here. They have break times in the middle, they have games in the middle. They do a bit of uh, rest, or they sleep off a little bit for an hour or so, so that they can relax.
right
So everything is involved in that day, and they are a good group of 15 students, and they are, I think they're great friends, because when you see them playing around and stuff, they have made a good community kind. So
Mm.
yeah, you make a lot of friends in maktab or madrasa as well. It's not something that you are completely isolated.
no no absolutely yes exactly
So yeah, this was pretty much
Mm.
a bit about uh, how
Yeah
we go through Hifz. And
yes
I think that was an interesting session. Inshallah, we'll come up with another topic, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget to
yes
uh, follow for the giveaway, subscribe or follow for the giveaway. All more details are followed up after the video. You can check it out, even in the caption.
okay then see you
Okay, take
Allah
care.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Seeing the amusing response, we've decided to extend the giveaway. One lucky winner will now be announced on May 25th.